Good afternoon, everybody. There's been a lot of studies released during this symposium, this summit, and we don't need a study to tell you how many people would be present in the last session of a summit like this. It would be either somebody who's got to give a vote of thanks or somebody who is keenly, deeply interested. So I would assume it's the latter, and I am happy and privileged to bring to you the first ever, this is for the first time in front of this August audience, that the results of the first ever Nature Index analysis for India are being unveiled. So the report is online already. It just went live a couple of hours back. And there are some startling results here. So you, in fact, are among the first few people who would get to know what this first ever Nature Index analysis for India reveals. What is the Nature Index anyway? The Nature Index comes from the Nature Publishing Group, which is now part of the Springer Nature Group. It's a bigger conglomerate now. And we bring to you the world's highest impact scientific and medical journals, and Nature Index is a global indicator of high quality research as it happens across 68 top-end journals in the world. So the Nature Index basically tracks the affiliations of high quality scientific articles, and it is updated every month, and it presents recent research outputs by institution and by country. So it's a database of author affiliation information collated from research articles published in 68 independently selected high quality research journals. It's freely accessible, that's the best part of Nature Index, with 12 months of rolling data. So you can pick up any last 12 months any time of during the fact that we have it all the while on the website. So it's compiled by institution, by subject area, and by country, and it's available under a Creative Commons license. The underlying database enables institutional profiling and benchmarking and supports a range of commercial derivative services, which I'll come to in a bit. The Nature Index was launched in November of 2014 with data since 2012. It uses 3 measures to track affiliation for individuals and institutes. One is the article count, so we count each article individually. There's the fractional count, wherein we give a fraction of each author or institute as they appear in the article, and the weighted fractional count, which is a modified way of looking at the fractional count. So that's the Nature Index and what it does. The first is the website, which is free. It's got 12 months of rolling data. The second is supplements that come out of that website, and they accompany Nature, our flagship journal. That's one of the annual compilation that you see on the screen. And of course, it has got data, it has got commentary, and it has got ranking. And the latest one that we are doing right now is country reports like these that you have in your kits, or you can collect it from outside. So this is the first India report that we have done, and the first India analysis that we have done. What are the highlights of this India Index report? The first and the most important is some reason to rejoice, and that's at number 13. India is among the top 15 countries globally that come across in Nature Index 2014. India's research output has shown a steady growth since 2012, according to these 68 top journals that we track, and it's showing a compound annual growth rate of 8% than other countries with comparable output and similar economic conditions. Chemistry, the love affair with chemistry continues to go strong in India, as it is elsewhere in Asia as well, and 50% of India's overall Nature Index output is coming from chemistry alone. In terms of collaborations, the United States of America, is India's top collaborator, and it's followed by Germany. India collaborates with almost 85 countries, and they're mostly in Europe. Other mentionable collaborative ties are with East Asia and Australia. Mind you, all of this is according to what the Nature Index puts out every 12 months, and it is again based on these 68 top journals that we track. Institutions in India collaborate mostly with international counterparts. That's what comes out strongly. But again, the largest collaborators and collaborations are within domestic institutes within the country. The industry-academia collaboration, which is the key concern of this summit, is yet sadly to take off in India. But again, the good point is Indian academic institutions have shown good collaborative ties with international corporations. That's for you the India performance overview. If we see the article counts, it's up from 1198 in 2012 to in 2014 it is 1484. So that's a significant rise. The India performance overview in the Nature Index, as we just discussed, you can see the fractional count, the weighted fractional count. These are just indices that we use to measure how we are doing across the world. Asia, the key players in the Nature Index. There's China, obviously, as always leading the way with the sharp blue line on top, and that's followed by Germany, which we use since it has got similar economic conditions as India to compare. Then there's Japan, UK, South Korea, India with the dotted line, red dotted line there, and Taiwan and Singapore. So you see Japan and UK almost neck and neck, and then the rest of them have stark figures going up and down. What is the global context of this report? What is India's high quality research output looking like in the global context? The historical strength, as I mentioned, in chemistry, in chemical sciences, is still going strong. Interestingly, we are globally ranked 9th in chemistry as opposed to 13th overall. There's a steep increase in the weighted fractional count, and that increase is of 448.9 points. And 50% of India's total output in research is coming from chemistry. These are some of the top institutions by ranking in the Nature Index. And from India, you see the IITs, TIFR, CSIR, and Indian Institute of Science, and the ICERs topping the list. So the standalone institute that shines through is Indian Institute of Science, because the rest of them are conglomerates or more than one institutes taken together. So Indian Institute of Science at number 4 has a weighted fractional count of 93.72, and IITs, TIFR, CSIR, and ICERs are the top contenders there. We also have Saha Institute, Punjab University, Delhi University, BARC, and IACS on the top 10 list. That again is by discipline, so I don't know if it's pretty visible from back there, but CSIR again tops in life sciences. In physical sciences, it's TIFR, obviously because of the CERN experiments that they have had. Chemistry, you can see the Indian Institutes of Technology, and mind you, the weighted fractional count for chemistry there is 106.58, which is way ahead of any other weighted fractional count in life sciences, physical sciences, or earth and environmental sciences. CSIR again tops in earth and environmental sciences there. We have the Ministry of Earth Sciences projects that figure in number 2 there. How are we doing as collaborative partners? Indian researchers collaborate, as I said, with almost 85 countries. The high collaboration score of 180 is with US, which is way, way ahead of the next in line, that is Germany, at 80. Within the index, it shows that industry-academia collaboration is still something that we can talk about and talk about more. But Indian academic institutions have had some good collaborative ties with international corporations, partnering with international academic institutions as well. That is the domestic versus the international collaborations graph, wherein the darker shade is the international one and the lighter one is the domestic collaborations. So you can see how India is faring among the top 5. In Singapore, we see it's more than 50% of the international collaborations as opposed to domestic. In India, it's just about close to 50%, not touching the 50% mark yet of international collaborations, where domestic is taking more of the chunk of that pie. These are the top 10 collaborators. We have discussed this. USA with 28%, Germany 13%, and the rest UK, France, Japan, South Korea, Switzerland, Italy, Spain, and Australia coming in after that. How are we reaching out to the corporate collaborators? Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur stands out at top, followed by GNCSR, Bangalore, with the University of Hyderabad making a decent enough presence there. So we have sort of almost tracked each and every institute that has a corporate collaborator, national, international, and there we can see IIT Kanpur at top. That was taken with the weighted collaboration score, weighted fraction into account. How are we partnering with academic collaborators? The Serum Institute of India is showing great presence there with a weighted collaboration score of more than 8, somewhere between 8 and 10. So, and Dr. Reddy's laboratories. So these are the top 2. Tata Steel follows with less than 2%, 2 fraction collaboration in that weighted score. So that's our corporation status as far as how we collaborate with big corporations goes. How are we doing globally? We have discussed this, and for comprehensiveness, I would say for this analysis, Indian institutions were compared to foreign institutions based on their geography, their international reputation, and the comparative global ranks. IITs came in at 51st in the index, placing them quite close to top universities in the region, and that's remarkable because it comes very close to NTU, the Nanyang Technological University, and National University of Singapore, as it were. The IITs also ranked close to top institutions in the US and Europe, and surpassed surprisingly, some of the world's top research hubs, such as LMU in Germany and Riken in Japan. So that's from me. I'd take questions if there are any. Thank you very much.